Now, there are still long queues at the Lebombo border post this morning. Yesterday, the Border Management Authority noted an increase in road traffic, mainly the freight headed to Maputo port through the Lebombo border. However, the commitment was that they would clear the trucks by this morning. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala joins us from there. Good morning, Nqobile. Could you describe the situation on the ground there this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Chaba. So what we're seeing is trucks for miles, and I want to show you just behind me. This is the amount of traffic that you can see for freight industry. But what's quite interesting is that you'll see that the private cars, as well as the buses, as well as the vans, are just moving quite openly on the right-hand side. So on the left-hand side, you obviously would have a much longer line for the freight industry. Where we are standing, we are 7 kilometers away from the border. But that line doesn't stop here. In fact, it did build up yesterday to over 20 kilometers. We understand that yesterday when the commissioner was speaking to us that there was a processing that was going to take place overnight, and he did explain that there would be less traffic this morning, but we're seeing traffic. So I want to bring in BMA to speak to us so that they can explain to us first, is this the traffic from yesterday?
Yeah, good morning, Nqobile, and good morning to the viewers. Thank you very much for having us. This is indeed the traffic which started yesterday. Yesterday, the commissioner reported that the queue is as long as 24 kilometers long, but he also indicated that there's going to be a decrease of this queue. He was not counting in the number of trucks that could perhaps be joining the queue at the end.
And how far is it today?
Today we heard that it is plus minus 17 kilometers, and we believe that there could be other trucks, as I said, which could be joining the queue. But we're expecting that we'll be processing the queues the same way that we've been processing them yesterday, which is 1,000 trucks per day at least.
And I understand that what's important about today is that you are going to be moving to Mananga. Mananga is an area that is between Swaziland and South Africa. This is another border. Why is Mananga important, and why are you moving there?
We are going to Mananga as BMA. Obviously, the commissioner is going to lead us in order to assess the readiness of that port in terms of receiving and processing travelers. We have identified Mananga because it is the closest port next to Lebombo. I think it is plus minus 60 kilometers. You will be aware that the Constitutional Council of Mozambique is going to announce the results on Monday the 23rd. We are expecting that there could be some kind of social unrest which might affect this border. So in the event that we stop operations at Lebombo, we are then planning to divert travelers to Mananga.
And when these trucks say they move towards Mananga, is there no backup already that side of a number of trucks that might be there? And also at the same time, where do they end up if they go via Mananga?
When they come through Mananga, they will exit to Mozambique through a port of entry called Nomahashe. And then we have engaged with the Eswatini government yesterday. Our commissioner has talked to the chief immigration officer of Eswatini so that the Eswatini government can also assist to ensure that they exempt these trucks from paying some fees. So there's something called transit cargoes. So they're going to be treated like that. And then we will see how it goes on the 23rd. But we are not saying that will happen, the unrest will happen. We are just saying in the event that will happen, we are going to route the trucks to Mananga.
And I'm just going to ask you on safety as well. Is that area safe for the truckers to be stuck for a long time?
Yeah, the area we have been made to believe that it is safe. I don't believe that the chief immigration officer of Eswatini government would have allowed us to do these things if he was not confident that the area is safe. So we do believe that the area is safe and nothing could happen to the drivers or the trucks themselves.
And in terms of law enforcement?
Yeah, there will be law enforcement. The same law enforcement that we have here will also be there. By the way, we are also going to deploy some certain tools to Mananga, as well as additional human resources. In the event that after we have made an assessment, we realize that there is a need then to divert the truck to and also the travelers.
Assistant Commissioner, thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, Ms. Chaba, I think what's important in that conversation is that in preparation for the 23rd, and you'll remember this is a very important date for Mozambique, mainly because this is the pronouncement of the results, and because we have seen in the past that there's been a difference of opinion between people who support Podemo as well as those that support Frelimo, which is currently the one that is in government in Mozambique. There's been a spillage of that fight that had happened and came towards Lebombo border post. So in preparation for the 23rd, they're looking to moving some of this traffic and mainly the freight industry towards Swaziland so that they're able to eventually end up in Maputo, but they're going via Swaziland. And you'll remember that they did say about law enforcement that there will be an escort should there be any problems that do arise on the 23rd.